this one. I understand what you're talking about. Yes, we don't have 155 million sitting in the bank that we can just go drop on this. I don't want to spend 155 million. If we have to spend 155 million, I'm probably going to argue that that's a bad deal, and we're not going to go down that road. I think the deal has yet to be made. That's what I'm trying to express to you, that we haven't got our best deal on the table yet. We enter those negotiations in July, and I'm going to push really hard for that. But if they're, I'm serious about, having a long-term funding stream that supports that and isn't balanced on the back of the home. And I think that this chart that I tried to present to you, that it takes a unique and a total look at everything that we're doing. And then you got to prioritize it as a higher priority. And I don't think anybody on city council is willing to sacrifice the sustainment of the city's infrastructure for this. We work really hard to preserve our infrastructure. And I tell you, you get a pothole in front of your house, either I fix it or Spider-Man's going to show up. And I don't want Spider-Man showing up at your house, so I'm going to fix the pothole. And the thing is, we work really hard to support the infrastructure in Virginia Beach. And if you have issues with the services, or you have issues with the infrastructure support in your city, you have a direct line to me. You guys all know how to find me. I'm up on the web. You can drop a dime on me. My email's there. It's like, hey, I got an issue. So I want to reassure you that we're not going to let that sacrifice. We're not going to sacrifice that in Virginia Beach.
If you look at Northampton Boulevard, it's rougher and rougher.
Right. We're working hard.
And it may get fixed, I don't know when. We finally started the expressway only because people were blowing tires, having wrecks, and they just do it until it got absolutely critical.
Right.
I happen to have an RV. I could not run it on 264. The cabinets would come out of it.
Right. I
And,
had to get rid of my sports car.
Yeah,
I
and,
went back to my pickup truck. It was beating the living crap out of my car.
but we go all over the country. And when you get 50 miles from Tidewater, stuff starts rattling. And, there are a few other areas, some rough roads, but not to the extent that you have in Eastern Virginia.
Oh, I understand.
Waverly's going to be our last question because we have gone over considerably. Okay. Do you have a short? Because he did have his hand up.
I will do a very short question. I'm concerned because, one, we were told with this whole transportation that it was about transportation and not development. So I feel that we've been a little deceived because the bill of sale that we were approached with was resolving transportation problems and not pushing development. My other question that I have, and that's a question / statement, is why isn't, and I'm focusing on Reed's statement, why isn't the citizens being asked, do we want to be a metropolitan city, or do we like our suburban Virginia Beach? I don't think anybody has a problem with development and growing and building and evolving, and I think the issue is private-public partnerships. I think the issue is raising our taxes, and none of this is being brought to the citizens. And we're told one thing when we voted on light rail, which was extremely misconceptive there, with the question on the ballot. And that we're told it's going to fix transportation, and now we've got money for transportation that's supposed to be fixing roads, and now it's going to light rail, and it's just a big vicious circle of deception, and none of us are being asked, do we want this metropolitan city?
I don't think that's a question that
Well, I got a couple thoughts, if you'll allow me. One of the basis for my conversation, my discussion with you all today was that the decisions about the future growth of Virginia Beach have been underway for about 6 or 8 years. And that those discussions are all based on all those meetings that occurred about Hilltop and Pembroke and Newtown and those strategic growth area planning meetings that had tremendous public input. Everybody in the world could walk in there and participate with them. So those plans have all been formulated, finalized and approved by the city council. It's not like I can change any of that concept. And now, the comprehensive plan is being redone on a 5-year, and guess what it'll say? It'll say we are going to focus our development growth in certain areas that we can provide the infrastructure and support, transportation/transit support for that growth, and that we limit the amount of expanded infrastructure that we have to sustain. And they're going to hold the whole line on the green line. They don't want that sprawl because it costs tremendous dollars to go long way with water and sewer and roads and all the lighting and public safety and everything that goes along with expanding. So Waverly, kind of the concept here has been underway. It's not like you're not informed, it's just that you have to get your arms around the magnitude of all the eaches to see what the whole total comprehensive development plan is. And it's hardcore focused, transit-oriented development, vertical, and it in no way affects that suburbanization we have in our other outlying areas. Now, the concern would be if you create the SSTS, Southside Transit System, and you go vertical. What does that do to Independence? You know, north. What does that do to Shore Drive when you arc off of Little Creek and head to the airport? Are you creating transit-oriented corridor that way? I would say you're going to. When you go down the gold line and you head down Alaska, what's that going to do to, you know, that community of Bird Neck, and you come down through there and you blow up the convention center and put it and tie it on 19th Street to transit to a big world-class entertainment facility? It's going to be intense. But I live in Great Neck, and I can pull back into my Trentwood, my Southern Points. I can be back there where it's quiet neighborhood, and we're not going to mess with that growth. So you got to get your arms around the whole total package. It says, where do you think the Vision 2040 really takes you? Because we've taken and created that vision, and the council's approved it. And the argument is not that I don't have an opinion. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. I'm a staff person. I work for a political government. I don't have opinions. I execute the mission, the will, intent of my city council. They've approved that. I get a chance to influence, but when they make a decision, my job is to salute and march. Your job is to grab the whole concept and then say, how do I fit within that? So when you say we're not asking the citizens what they want, in a way, we really are. And this whole discussion on transit and light rail and maglev, it hasn't played out yet. It will play out, but it's going to play out a lot faster than people think, because the state's going to tell you, they're going to say, here's the money. If you don't use it, I'm giving it to Northern Virginia. It makes you crazy. You ought to be in my chair. Drives me out of my mind.
Well, it brings up the issue of revenue sharing. We're kind of like skirting all around this idea. And it used to be a federal thing where it's supposed to be for, you know, putting everybody together and everything, the general revenue sharing. And that's way long ago, but we got to learn how to get along with each other. I was just thinking something here, the Lesnar Bridge area. It's not done. I don't think it's done. Do you think it's done?
Not at all. I'm just launching on
It
that.
just started on the bridge.
What Norfolk found out, because I was in budget there, in the capital improvement program budget in Norfolk, and we had to work with the development department and everything there. 10 years, only 10 years after they started building the water side, the tax base in Norfolk for that area, anyway, had gone up by 700%. So I can't see why we're too short-sighted to see that there can be pocket areas in Virginia Beach that we can do the same thing that will bring about the growth of the whole city. Now there's a lot more I can say about it.
Thank you, Stan. This has been very informative. And like you to pull our 50/50.
Oh, okay.
Pressure's on.
Oh, I pulled the dollar bill.